Welcome to Study Loop.
In the problem 63, we're given an aqueous solution of hydrochloric acid, so HCl, and the weight percentage of the solution is 36%. So this is what we're given, and we need to calculate the molality. And let's define that here. Molality is defined as the amount of the solute divided by mass of solvent. And the second thing we need to calculate is the mole fraction, which is defined as amount of solute divided by amount solute plus solvent. So in order to calculate both of these values, we need to calculate the amount of the hydrochloric acid in the solution and the amount of water in the solution. In order for us to get an easy understanding of how to do this, we will assume that we're working with 100 grams of this solution. So let's calculate the actual mass of hydrochloric acid in these 100 grams total solution. So the definition of the weight percentage is mass of solute divided mass solution times 100%. From this, we can solve it for mass of solute equals to the weight percentage multiplied by the mass solution divided by 100%. If we solve it for our 36% times 100 grams that we've assumed, divide this by 100%, we will obtain the mass of the hydrochloric acid, which is 36 grams in this case. So this is a very easy calculation, and this is a very easy representation of the actual amounts in our solution. If we assume the 100 grams, we can say that we can also calculate the mass of the solvent by just subtracting the mass of the solute from the mass of total solution. So a solution minus mass solute equals 100 grams minus 36 grams is 64 grams. Okay, so now that we're halfway there, we can just say that we will calculate the amount of the solute, the amount of the solvent, and the amount of the solution, and then we'll have everything that we need to know in order to obtain our molality and mole fraction. Let's switch to the new screen. So the amount of the solute can be calculated from the mass divided by molar mass of the hydrochloric acid. This would be the 36 grams that we calculated, and the molar mass of the hydrochloric acid is 36.46 gram per mole. This leaves us with amount of the solute being 1.01 mole. Let's do the same for the amount of the solvent, which is in our case water. We use the exact same equation, and the mass that we calculated here, the 64 grams. So 64 grams divided by the molar mass of water, which is 18.02 grams per mole. And in this way, we obtain the 3.55 moles of water. So the total amount will be 1.01 moles plus 3.55 moles, which would be 4.56 moles. Okay, now we can take a look at the equations that we wrote down. I'm just gonna paste them in here. Now we can solve them. So the molality equals to the amount of the solute, which we know is 1.01 mole, divided by the mass of solvent, which we calculated before, the 64 grams, or 0.064 kilograms, which leaves us with 15 mole per kilogram, or 15 small m, as it's written sometimes. Okay, now that we have this solved, all we need is to calculate the mole fraction, which again we do by putting in our amount of the solute, which is 1.01 mole, divided by the total amount of moles, which we know is 4.56 moles. And this results in 0.22. And this, the mole fraction has no unit, so it's just 0.22